The gun hasn't fired yet, and already the tension in this stadium is suffocating. 4 runners per team, 1 baton, and for some of these nations, a single lap that decides everything. The women's 4x400 final is here, and every team on this track believes tonight belongs to them. USA stacked their lineup for a reason. Norway has been hunting this moment for years. Belgium is dangerous and absolutely ready to make some noise. And Brazil, do not sleep on Brazil. Watch these athletes in the blocks. Feel the silence before it all breaks loose. This is the relay where momentum shifts in a single handoff. Katarina Lourenco leads off for Portugal way out in lane 8 on the far outside. Josephine Eriksen of Norway in lane 7, one of the most versatile runners in Europe right now. Keniya for the USA, running the first leg in lane 6. Naomi van den Broeck opens for Belgium in lane 5. Maria da Siena gets Brazil going in lane 3, the South American champion, and it's Anita de Bassi, ranked number 2 on the continent, who closes out that final leg for the green and gold. For the United States, Hayes leads off, Bailey Lear and Ailey Robinson carry the middle legs, and Alexis Holmes, one of the most dangerous anchor runners in the world, waits to bring it home. Five teams, 2 Olympic spots, and the pressure is real. USA are the favorites, but nothing is handed out in a relay. Norway and Belgium are right in this fight, and every exchange is going to matter. They're off. Keniya fires out of the blocks for the USA, and she is moving fast. Josephine Eriksen right there for Norway on the outside, tracking her through the bend. Van den Broek holds position for Belgium. Hayes has opened up real daylight on this field as the stagger begins to unwind. Clean exchange, USA gets it to Bailey Lear. Norway and Belgium with smooth handoffs too. Astrid Eriksen and Helena Panette in pursuit. Lear's got a significant lead down the back straight, and she is running with purpose. Norway and Belgium locked in a tight battle for that second spot. Second exchange, Ailey Robinson takes it for the USA and goes. Norway hands off to Astrid Erstad. Belgium makes their change. Robinson is flying down this track. Norway picks up a little ground right at the changeover, but the USA lead is still massive. The real race now is behind them, all about silver. Final exchange, and Alexis Holmes takes the baton for the USA with a massive lead. Henriette Jaeger grabs it for Norway and Helena Panette for Belgium, and these two are side by side. This is a flat-out sprint for that second Olympic spot, and nothing separates them right now. Alexis Holmes into the home straight, and she is running like she's out for a jog. Smooth, controlled, completely untouchable. Behind her, it's Norway and Belgium, Jaeger and Panette, and they are absolutely dead even. Panette spots a gap on the inside and she goes for it. Can she get there? Jaeger holds her lane, holds her nerve, and drives right through the line for Norway in second. Holmes crosses for the USA, 324.76. The United States are going to the Olympic Games. Norway books that second spot, and Belgium, heartbreakingly, just misses out. Alexis Holmes throws her arms wide, and the entire USA team is going crazy right now. They're heading to the Olympic Games, and every single one of them knew it the moment Holmes hit that final straight and pulled clear. Look at Norway. Henriette Jaeger is in tears, and her teammates are sprinting onto the track to reach her. They're all down on the track together, arms around each other, Norwegian flags already waving in the air. Norway sent 4 athletes to these championships, and they are now the first Norwegian women's 4x400 relay team in history to qualify for the Olympic Games. They ran a national record to get there, and they did it by holding off Belgium in one of the tightest battles of this entire meet. That Norwegian quartet is on the track right now, hugging, laughing, completely overwhelmed. USA got the job done and made it look easy. Holmes barely looked like she was breathing hard, which tells you everything about the depth of that squad. For Belgium, it's heartbreak. Helena Panette spotted the gap and went for it, and she almost made it work. Almost. Norway never gave it up. And for Norwegian athletics, this is a moment they've never had before. Here's how this race was won. Keniya Hayes off the gun. Look at that drive phase. She gets into her stride quickly, and she does not let up around the bend. By the time the stagger unwinds, the USA lead is already real. Bailey Lear takes the baton on the second leg and extends it. Look at her mechanics down the back straight, powerful and controlled all the way through. Norway's Astrid Erstad gains a little at the second exchange, closes the gap slightly, but the USA cushion is just too large. Then watch the final exchange, Ely Robinson to Alexis Holmes. Textbook clean, barely a blink of hesitation. Holmes moves off at a pace that looks deceptively easy, but watch the gap to Norway and Belgium. It's not closing. Now the final straight. Panette sees the space on the inside and commits. Jaeger feels the pressure, but her form holds. She doesn't drift, she doesn't panic, she drives right through the line. National record for Norway. A smooth, dominant performance for the USA, and a relay squad that executed every single exchange exactly when it needed to. Norway make history tonight. The USA are Olympic bound. 2 nations heading to the games, and neither of them will forget this race. The race was over before Alexis Holmes hit the final straight. That's what the camera angle from the final exchange shows you clearly. When Ely Robinson handed off to Holmes, the gap to Norway's Henriette Jaeger was already several meters. Holmes didn't need to race, she ran controlled, shoulders down, and that was enough. The decisive moment wasn't the finish line, it was the third leg, where Ely Robinson extended a lead that was already comfortable into one that was simply unassailable. USA's lineup construction told the story before a baton moved. Keniya Hayes on the first leg, Bailey Lear second, Robinson third, Holmes anchoring. That's 4 athletes who can each run close to 50 seconds individually. Norway countered with Josephine Eriksen on the opening leg, which was an aggressive call, and Eriksen delivered, staying within range of Hayes through the first bend. But the American depth compounded with every exchange. By the time Holmes took the stick, Norway and Belgium were racing each other for second, not chasing the USA. Josephine Eriksen's second-place finish deserves real examination. Norway ran 3:26.89, which is a Norwegian national record. Henriette Jaeger held off Helena Panette in the final meters, with Panette finding a gap on the inside and committing to it. Jaeger didn't flinch. She held her lane and drove through. The margin between Norway and Belgium was 0.30 seconds. 3:26.89 to 3:27.19. That's a photo finish in relay terms. For Norway, it was also a historic qualification for the Olympic Games. The first time the Norwegian women's 4x400 team has ever reached the Olympics. For Belgium, with Naomi van den Broeck leading off and Panette anchoring, it's a result that will sting for a long time. They ran well enough to medal at most championships. On this day, Norway simply had more in reserve. Portugal and Brazil were a tier below. Katarina Lourenco brought Portugal home in 3:35.84. Maria da Sena ran 3:37.06 for Brazil, with Anita Dabasi on the anchor. Neither team threatened the medal positions, but both completed the relay, which matters in a qualifying context. The American time of 3:24.76 is a serious collective performance. It places this squad among the top US relay teams of recent years, and it was done without being pushed. Holmes running relaxed in the anchor leg and still clocking a winning time that fast signals that the ceiling for this group is higher than what we saw. The individual components, Hayes, Lear, Robinson, Holmes, all have personal event records that suggest a genuinely elite relay unit when fully extended. They weren't fully extended here. That's the most telling detail of the whole race.